What's going on, everybody? It is your boy, your host, Dr. Splash. Welcome back to Yancey Street. If you're not a subscriber, make sure to join Yancey Street while you can. We're so close to 30K, which has been a big goal of ours. So I'm definitely happy to hit that. Also, run the like button up on this one. All right, let's get like 300, 400 plus if you love videos like this. And check out my Discord where we do games, prizes, D&Ds, giveaways, and more. We recently just had our first round of giveaways go out for this giveaway spree we're on to close out 2024. So definitely join up. And we're also playing some pretty epic D&Ds. Now, to the topic at hand, right? So, as you guys know, I sometimes protest comic book versus anime matchups, in particular comic book versus Dragon Ball. Like, oftentimes I don't particularly see the appeals of some of the matchups. I think it's a little more clear cut than people often give it credit for. Well, this matchup's actually not that case for me. I find Bardock versus Omni-Man to be a contentious battle. I actually find it to be an interesting topic. If this breaks like 500 likes, I will do a super in-depth analysis of how this would go, and I will do it by the parameters set by Death Battle. Now, this isn't directly a debunk. Truth be told, I don't really feel like making debunks right now. But this is more so just my initial thoughts on the topic without dropping like a 30-minute in depth on it. So, for one, the death battle, I didn't see all of it. I do know some of the parts from it, and they kind of naturally get answered in what I'm going to say in these videos in terms of how I think about the topic. In terms of how this goes to me or how you break it down, I'm going to go through the categories and tell you where I lean for each one, okay? So first off is strength or AP. Now, in this department, I don't think it's that particularly controversial to say Bardock should hit harder. Should scale to King Vegeta and above, at least star level. Pretty easy to get a character like him star level. Now, in Death Battle, they did allow the ability for him to take Super Saiyan form, which obviously is a dramatic increase to his power level. And if he's already star level and you stack that upon it, well, shit's getting pretty wicked. Whereas in the likes of Invincible, the story of Invincible, we see Omni-Man struggle to help break apart a planet. Now, he does have a couple feats that kind of do need to be mentioned. If you disregard his consistent canon scaling and you say, hey, the Supreme scaling is canon and Supreme's OP is fuck, then sure, I guess you can get him to a higher power level. But if you go to like consistently within the story, Planetary is around where he hovers for AP, and that's kind of being generous. Impetus or whatever, the villain, you could argue Highball, like a Reality Buster, Dimension Buster, or Universal Buster. But that's still hard to do. Regardless, you get him probably around Planetary level for Omni-Man. And to me, in AP, like Bardock just kind of cleanly takes it. Hits way harder. At this point, kind of has the death touch compared to the other when it comes to their natural attack potency. So I actually lean Bardock in the strength or AP. Now, in the speed department, it's interesting. When we look at this, Omni-Man has feats of being able to hold his breath and fly outside of the solar system. Battle beings that can cross universes, star systems, stuff. It's easy to argue him FTL plus to MFTL. You know, being able to cross a star system within a breath, which, you know, could have been a week or two. It's pretty crazy. Bardock doesn't scale super high into the crazier speed metas for Dragon Ball. What I mean by that is Bardock fights at the lower end of Z and scales kind of to the lower end, like I said, surviving a Frieza, which we will get to in durability, or surviving a Frieza attack rather, scaling to above King Vegeta. The speed would be roughly FTL. However, I don't see Bardock having as solid of a speed argument as Omni-Man does. I actually do give the nod to Omni-Man in the speed department. Now for durability. This is interesting. Both due to their genetic predisposition, they have forms that can regenerate pretty rapidly. And if they both kind of survive, they get stronger from surviving. It's almost a copycat genetic predisposition for both races. Now, in terms of how durable they are, Viltrumites can survive almost any physical damage. However, if you do overwhelm them with the damage, eventually they will go down. The higher tiers, like tiers that are a little bit above Omni-Man, they start burning alive around stars. Like I mentioned, Omni-Man flying through the planet, an unstable planet was capable of killing him. They had to keep that in mind. Bardock, they mentioned in Death Battle, one of the versions of Bardock survives Frieza, or an attack from Frieza, which should be star level. Scaling 2 and above, King Vegeta should be able to endure star level and up. I think both have similar regenerative. Perhaps Viltrumites is a little better. However, both of them have that weird Zenkai boost, with Saiyans perhaps being a little more formidable when it comes to the Zenkai. But in terms of overall durability and who's just tougher, who can take more at once, I think it's a leaning towards Bardock in that department. Now, on the intelligence side of things, in terms of battle IQ, both are from warrior races, warrior classes, bred early on to take over and dominate in militaristic fashion across the galaxy. Omni-Man has indeed served a little longer. He has served, obviously, in the militaristic regime of the Viltrumites, and has also gone against the Viltrumites in war and done pretty well. When we look at Bardock, he is someone that was like mid-tier when it comes to the Saiyan class. Wasn't known as being brilliant, but again, Saiyans are predisposed to being freaks in combat. He has very solid martial art ability, obviously, as someone who took up arms in the Saiyan class. He would be trained in martial arts and Saiyan martial arts as well. I do find him to be very skilled, but if I had to pick between the two, I would probably favor Omni-Man. Likely more training, more militaristic and tactical training as well. I'd probably give the edge there. And the same argument would be made in the skill department. I think both are very prominent warriors. However, Omni-Man has been around a little longer, likely has learned more in this department, as well as he was a higher class in the military, getting exposed to higher forms of training, whereas, again, Bardock, as dope as he is, was kind of treated as a midline person. So those two departments, I'd probably lean a little bit to Omni-Man. And then hacks, abilities, and gear, I gotta go with Bardock. In my opinion, his energy manipulation, that's a big deal, big factor in his battle, being able to blast it as well. Turning into his ape form, manipulating his power. His Super Saiyan form, also boosting his power. His Zenkai, in my opinion, is superior to Omni-Man's reactive adaptation to damage. This is a dope fight. Omni-Man, obviously, with his flight, his superior speed, his healing, his particle manipulation internally that allows him to do all these things, his super senses. It makes him quite formidable. But I would say in this department, I got to go with Bardock. So if these two Titans throw down, especially with the parameters set by Death Battle, who would I favor? Well, again, this isn't the in-depth, and if you guys really want the in-depth battle, make sure to show a lot of love to this video, and I'll really sit down and get deep into what each does. But in this general review and going by the rules set by Death Battle, I would favor Bardock. I actually think Bardock would win this fight. I think he hits harder. I think this is a dope fight. I think the speed element keeps Omni-Man in it, as well as the skill and intelligence. However, it's kind of like one of those touch of death situations where once Bardock starts catching the boy, it's trouble. the energy blasts as well. It's going to be a long day for Omni-Man. I think Bardock just hits too hard. I think that's going to be too much. And I overall favor Bardock. I think he overwhelms the durability of Omni-Man. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. In my Discord, a lot of people are talking about this right now, so you can join up and talk about it as well and get active in the comment section as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for your love and support. And remember, as always, it's Yancey Street, bitches.